How long have you been in this position?
My current position?
Yes, or at the EPA?
2.5 years in this position.
Okay, and what did you do previously?
I worked at Harvard Law School.
What did you do there?
I was the executive director of a legal research program.
Okay, and you were there for how long?
3 years.
Okay. Have you ever been to Anchorage, Alaska?
No, I have not.
Have you ever evacuated a hurricane in Florida?
No, I have not.
Okay. And my final question, a little bit more personal, but how much do you make a year?
I
know it's kind of random, but I'm going somewhere with this.
About $175,000 a year.
Oh my gosh, you're doing better than I think we are after taxes, right, guys? Anyways, the reason I ask that is because right now what I'm seeing is the EPA, not necessarily you, but as a whole, people advising on legislation that's impacting Americans who might not be as fortunate as us, right? So right now, the average cost of an electric vehicle is around $66,000 a year. You have Black Americans' average income, $45K a year, and Hispanic Americans on average making about $58K a year. So when these policies go into place to force someone to buy a new vehicle, ultimately what ends up happening is many people can't afford that. Places like Anchorage, Alaska, I had the opportunity of being able to go out on a CODEL recently. And, what I'm hearing from out there is they do rely on gas-powered vehicles, especially because of the environment that they're in. And in events like in Florida, when you've had to evac, we can't necessarily rely on electric vehicles because of the fact that, one, Florida's a very big state, and also to the fact that there's not enough charging stations, nor is there the infrastructure in place to, I think, provide the support needed for an entirely electric grid. What is the EPA doing to actually talk to normal people not in Washington, people not at Harvard, people not in Congress, to ensure that they're being taken care of? Because these policies, this legislation, not only is it going to impact jobs, not only will it really attack the economy, but it's going to hurt Americans. So are you guys doing any outreach to actual normal people to see if they agree with any of this legislation?
Engaging with everybody, if you will, is an absolute priority whenever we undertake rulemakings like this. We talk to industry, we talk to our co-regulators in states, and we definitely arrange to meet with peoples and communities across the country on a number of our rules. And what we hear the most from the people we talk to is that reducing pollution in their communities is a top priority.
I mean, I think everyone wants a clean community, but the problem is that if you have people in poverty because of laws that aren't necessarily reflective of the areas that they live in, that's going to cause more issues long term than I think what we can do, not only to promote clean energy, which would be, in my opinion, nuclear energy, but then also to making sure that we're not sending our industries to places that don't respect the environment, and thus, regardless of what we do here. For example, in some of these Asian countries, they might be destroying the environment, so it doesn't matter what we do here. I had a question about Toyota Auto Corporation. It's estimated that about 1.2 million public chargers by 2030 is what is needed. That's about $400 per day. How many public chargers are going to be going online per day right now?
What I do know is that in the last couple of years, there was a 40% increase in chargers, which now bring us up to a total of 130,000 chargers.
Do you know how many per day are going up? Because right now, to hit those metrics, it would need to be about 400 per day.
I don't know how many are going up, but I do know that Congress passed 2 significant pieces of legislation that will boost the deployment of chargers.
Look, I know you're in a very important position, but I just hope that you're taking into account people that might not necessarily have the resources when you guys are making these decisions, because it's going to impact a lot of people and it's going to hurt Americans.